Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Valecast, brought to you this week and every single week by our partners, Motive Offshore Group. You might be able to notice that Simo's not with me this week. He's in the process of moving house, so we wish him all the best with everything that comes with that. But I'm delighted that we are joined this evening by Colin Shirreffs, who is part of the Vale Youth setup at the community club there, and was very kind enough to have me come along to the U18s Scottish Youth Cup game last weekend down at Auchinleck Talbot. So, Colin, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Good. No, and yeah, I mean, touched on it there. I think we maybe just jump straight in and talk about the Scottish Cup game for the 18s there. So yeah, last Sunday, a nice fine and early bus journey down to Auchinleck with a good healthy squad of boys going down. So maybe just kind of talk up before we kind of talk about the game itself, Colin. Maybe just kind of tell me a wee bit about your kind of role within the club and then yeah, maybe lead into the Scottish Cup game from there. So tell us a wee bit more about yourself.
Well, I'm obviously the under-18 development team coach. I came in at the start of last season, which everyone will know was the COVID season. Yeah. So I came in at under 17 age, and I wasn't really a league at the time. So I had a good set of boys together, and obviously with Kev as well. We got a lot of friendlies put together and we started to gel a team and a squad together. So that sort of led on to the start of the under-18 league. And obviously we started up pretty well. So we've got a lot of good games. I think after 6 games, we're sitting second in that development league. If we win the game in hand, we'll go top. So it's a very tight league. And during that season, we had this little Scottish Cup run with a very good result at Shirreffs, which led to going to Auchinleck, as you said, last Sunday. A great experience for the boys. But again, not the scoreline or the performance we'd have hoped for.
Aye. So I mean, we'll maybe kind of touch on that. Yeah. So as you say, the scoreline was not the one you were after. Certainly, I think it's one of those scorelines that maybe does kind of flatter to deceive how what the game itself was actually like. Certainly from my vantage point at the back of the stand, taking the photos and stuff, it didn't look like that kind of game. But yeah, we'll maybe talk about the game itself. So. What were you expecting, I suppose, going into that match? That's a question I asked Kev before the game as well. You know, what you kind of thought the Auchinleck boys would bring to the party, if you like. So, what was the kind of setup and the thinking during the week ahead of that game?
Well, the Auchinleck team came into the game exactly as we thought they would. They were a good footballing side, very big, very strong, and very vocal, as you are when you go south to play any of these cup games. It was exactly how they thought they would set up, and yeah, we knew we'd have to fight for every first and second ball. And probably didn't win enough of them, but as you touched on there, the scoreline, I've got no complaints of getting beat because on the day Auchinleck were a better team. They wanted it more, but a 2-0 scoreline maybe reflected the game better. 4-0 was a bit harsh, but as you seen the game, at the end of the game, we probably played a 2-4-4, try to get back in it. So we got caught in a couple of sucker punches, but. Then yeah, Auchinleck Talbot was exactly what we thought. A very, very good football inside, and they were big, physical, and dominated a lot of periods of that game.
No, I mean I would agree. To be honest with you, I think it's a 2-0 was maybe a little bit more reflective of the chances that they had. I mean, we had a few good chances ourselves, you know, and one in particular I remember from Liam May. I think it was maybe a ball coming into the box, kind of felt him at the back post, and their keeper who hadn't really done much in the first half. And I remember speaking to Craig. So first team gaffer Craig came down as well, and I was speaking to Craig at half time. And I was great. We just put that keeper under a wee bit of pressure, you know, see what he responds with, and yeah, he pulled off a couple of worldies in the second half. So
that was something we said at half time as well, because we came in at 1-0 down. We had a really big chance. Oleg through, and fair play to Oleg. He's been one of our best players all season, and he's usually gobbled them up. But I thought if we could go on at 1-1. But that chance, that was the only time we really got in the box, and we still didn't test the keeper then. So the question was at halftime, can we test this keeper, see what like he is? But as you mentioned there, the shot for Liam's a good save. And that was in a period, about a 10-15 minute period where we did have a lot of good chances. It was corner after corner, chance after chance. And it was a lot of good blocks. That was something that I was very impressed with Auchinleck, that even at 2 and 3-0 up, the boys still putting themselves on the line, blocking our shots, coming from nowhere, really. There's a couple of times I thought, we just got to roll this ball in, but a defender came out of blue and blocked it.
No, that's it. I mean, there was a few chances like that. Again, I think Oleg on the left wing did well. It looked as though, I think it maybe felt Seb, and it looked as though it was just open goal near enough, and then a big centre half came out of nowhere. But
Seb and Ryan Parker was right. They got actually a couple of good moves, got them in good positions, but and they had no fault of their own. There was shots were hit the target, but the defenders put their cell on the line, which it was really good. Well, really good to see, but when you've got defenders doing that, it's worth their weight in gold.
Absolutely.
But, you touched on it there as well, that you spoke to Craig at half time. That's something I've been really impressed with Craig and Kevin. Well, Kev comes to every game. Craig's the first team manager, is at every game as well, and knows every player inside out, which is good for obviously leading the boys into the first team as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's, hugely important. I was very impressed with that myself, actually, on Sunday there. Wasn't, and many football managers would go to a game and would want to be on the touchline next year and, maybe passing on their advice and stuff. But, he was very, hands off there to provide advice when asked for it. But, it's your team, and I think he was totally respectful of that as well. But I think touching on what you were saying, just kind of getting to know some of these boys as they maybe look to progress through that kind of player pathway from youth team to first team. And there's a few boys there that have got, a wee bit of experience of being in and around the first team there, 21s as well. But, like Liam that we've talked about, Ryan Park's been there, Oleg's been involved as well in the squad. So, how important do you think that is, that even at a young age, these boys are kind of 16, 17, 18 years old. How important do you think it is that they're getting that access to first team football? And are you seeing the benefits of that coming back into 18s level?
Yeah, it's massive for us, these players. It's not massive for that players. The other players in the squad who see these guys get pulled in the first team know that a chance might come along. And it's actually great that Liam, Ryan, and Oleg all got on the pitch as well, playing for the first team.
Yeah.
And they come back and clown down for the training with it, because obviously the majority of boys train with myself on the West Side, because I do the West Side Go Fours, and you can see a difference when they come back at training. It's lifted their spirits and things like that. So it's good to see. And it as I say, Oleg, Liam, and Ryan all deserve their chance. And there's definitely 3 or 4 others. And Craig's mentioned it before, he might look to take in before the season ends, which will be fantastic as well. Because a lot of these boys have done very well and deserve a crack at it.
Definitely. And I mean, the Vale have been, well known for, supporting youth players, and giving them a chance as well. I think, really important. I mean, you look at, players like Max Stewart, for example, who've obviously come through that kind of pathway and have become very important parts of the first team squad. Coupled with, the more experienced boys at the other end of the age bracket, I suppose. But if you've got a strong 18s and 21s team, then it bodes well for the first team squad in the end.
And I think the 21s games is very good, because obviously the guys are mixed in. Some of the first team boys who are coming back for injury, maybe suspended. Because I know, like Jaden Bradford, he'd play next James Conley, was it? Up at Brock, which was a fantastic game, the 21s. And he came off raving about him because he was brilliant. He was speaking to him all through the game. And I think it was Jay Goldie was right back as well, another one of my guys, and he was saying how good he was. And I think he's still a young lad as well.
James is still a young boy. So I think 20, 21, something like that.
Yeah, so that's not a big difference. But the guys could see that that maybe season, 2 seasons and a half he's played for a high league already, that he's a leader in that team, and he was happy. He was really good with the boys on the pitch. And it showed in that game as well, because I think that was a fantastic game. Actually, it brought a couple of times we were down and we came back to win it. It was a really good game, and his experience really helped. And I think he popped up with a good goal as well.
Yeah, no, I remember that one, a crunching header to get us back into it. Because I think we were 2-0, 3-1 down, and then came back to win that one 4-3. With like Antonio Jam on the pitch last weekend, and he was involved in that game as well and got a goal, I remember. So I think it's it's looking bright anyway. The future for the Vale squads, throughout all the age brackets, and obviously doing a power of work, within the community club as well. Getting them in at a very, very young age and giving them the opportunity to develop. And who knows what the 18s team is going to look like in a couple of years' time when some of these other boys come through as well. So, I mean, just to go back to the youth, the Scottish Youth Cup game. As I say, obviously, it wasn't the result that we wanted. Obviously, it was thinking about the day in general. Obviously the spirits were high on the way down the road. Music was going on, and the boys were getting pumped up, ready for it.
There's a choice of music, though.
Well, there was a few few interesting
17-year-old
ones. I
boys.
must, a few interesting tunes that it made me feel hella old. I'll tell you that. I mean, I'm not even 32 yet, and it made me feel like 60 odd, But yeah. So I mean, obviously, very excited. Really looking forward to this experience for them. And yes, a great experience regardless of the score. But what's the kind of immediate reaction been like from the group? Has there been an opportunity for them to all come together at a training session this week or anything like that?
Not the full team, but obviously because I've got 13 of the Westside boys, I had them at training. But yeah, we've got a WhatsApp group with the players, and me and Robbie's obviously in it as well. And we were having a discussion about it on Monday and Tuesday, and you can see the boys were still hurt. But as I said in the group, win or lose, you learn. So no experience what it is to go down south, well, further south than Aberdeen, and go and play these teams in Glasgow and Edinburgh. And this is what they got to come up against when they get older and other Scottish Cup games. So they're now prepared. It's as I said, it was a sore one to take, but you've got to take some positives from it. You've got to take the experience from it. And yeah, they were all hurt on Monday, but picked themselves up. They've still got other big games to go. They're still, as I say, the under-18 development league is still very much a target for us to win. I know it's all about development, getting boys through, but if you speak to boys on the WhatsApp group, yeah, we're going to win this league. So that's their attitude. So it's good. So they'll bounce back as they always do. And
hopefully,
they'll be better for the experience. And it was a great day from start to finish. The football was probably the worst bit in the middle. But as I says, the club done us really well because they got the guys on new tops and nothing to wear. They got a coach. We stopped for breakfast. They've got a really how it's a professional's treated really for a professional game. Then they got into the clubhouse after and things like that. So yeah, the whole day is an experience. Shows them what it's like to be a semi-professional, professional footballer. So that in itself is good development along with the game as well.
And hopefully gives them the extra motivation. I don't think you need much more motivation at that age to keep going, but hopefully just gives them that wee insight into what playing in the Highland League could look like for them in the not too distant future. So that's brilliant. That's brilliant. So I mean, hopefully,
as a club manager for me, as I say, I do my West End team. We're still in our Scottish Cup, so these boys that have now played this team might come across this again, so they're now aware of what's waiting for them further on in this cup. So it'll benefit me as a club side, and it'll benefit them as players as well. So
yeah. Good. Well, hopefully, as I say, if they get the opportunity to put things right against those boys, then they'll know what to expect a wee bit more. If
100%.
That is the case. So no, fantastic. So no, it's sounding really positive. Anyway, I say apart from the scoreline last Sunday, it sounds like the season's going really well, and obviously we'll wish you nothing but the best for the rest of the campaign, and hopefully come the end of the season we can get you and a few of the boys back on here and we can talk about a title winning campaign maybe. So
yeah, that'd be great because boys in the WhatsApp, they're trying to pay me to name drop them. I'm not going to. They're all at it. As soon as I heard I was on a Valecast, name drop. I was like, no, we'll get you on once you do something proper. You can go on yourselves.
Exactly. There's the motivation to the boys now. Never mind getting in the first team of the Highland League. You go on and win the season. We'll get you on Valecast.
Get on Valecast. I want to be online.
Fantastic. Well, I mean, it's great to see. I mean, rattling through the team. I'll name drop them. I'll name drop a couple, all of them actually, because I thought they all played tremendously. So, I was keeping an eye on you and Paul in goals during the warm up and pulling off some fantastic saves. I thought, Christ, this is the tone that he's setting in the warm up. Then we're on to a good thing, and very good performance from him overall, I would say. Jaden Goldie, you've mentioned earlier, who's had opportunities for the 21s. Yeah. James White, I thought had a really good game as well. I think him and his opposite number 3 for Auchinleck were kind of on a bit of a mission against each other at times.
That was a great battle, by the way. It was a fantastic battle. He was a very good player. He was a very good winger, but James had his number as well.
Definitely. And then Liam May, who we talked about, came off the bench against Fort William in the league to play with the first teams, been involved in a lot of the 21s teams as well. Skipper for the 18s as well. Had a very good game. Arguably, maybe lucky to stay on the pitch towards the end, but we'll gloss over that one. I think he had a great opportunity, as we've mentioned before, to get on the score sheet. It just wasn't to be. But no, I thought his partnership again with Jaden Bradford in the middle, was it kind of reminded me a wee bit of Innes and James at the first team level. A good kind of partnership there, and we'll see what happens with those guys as they come through the ranks.
Two complement each other very well.
Aye, definitely. Another first team experienced boy, Ryan Park. We had Reagan Rintoul, Seb, who I thought had a really good game actually. So Seb, is it pronounced Holod, his last name?
Yeah.
So I thought he had a really good game. Big lad in the middle of the park there, but he was getting about either wing as well, and not afraid to put in a challenge. So definitely another one to keep an eye on for the future. Antonio Jam, who I mentioned earlier, my favourite named Vale player of all time. I think that's brilliant. He had a tough shift up front, kind of
first
playing
off,
as that central striker. Yeah,
isolated, but he works unbelievable. He keeps defenders on their toes. Just about we did get a bit more service to him.
And again, I think he was kind of just in the same way that Liam and Jaden at the back were kind of working really well together for us. I think the back line of the Talbot team were kind of sandwiching him a little bit, and it just made his job a little bit harder. So then Calum, he again another good standout performance I thought from him, and then Oleg as well, who again showed some flashes of brilliance I thought at times, and again another one that's got first team exposure and certainly been playing regularly for the 21s as well. So I think the boys can be really proud of the performance that they put in. And as I say, on a different day, that result maybe goes another way as well. But and also, mentioning the treatment that the boys got from the club, I think as well from both community club and the football club side of things. A thank you to our hosts at Auchinleck as well for making us feel very welcome on the day and putting on a good spread. And a couple of beers after the game is always nice as well. So thank you very much for that.
Yeah, I'll second that as well. The Auchinleck were fantastic with us, and and I appreciate everything they've done after the game.
No, definitely. It makes a defeat a little bit more palatable, doesn't it? So that's fantastic. So thank you very much, Colin, for all of that. And as I say, we'll wish you the best for the rest of the campaign. So a couple of other wee bits of Devon Vale news just before we kind of finish up for this evening. So start with Harry Noble. You'll have seen just during the week that Harry got his contract extended by a further 2 years, and we're hoping to see him back on the pitch ready for the start of the 2022-23 campaign. So congratulations to Harry. We've got our next game this weekend is tomorrow, all going well. There's been a few call-offs, but as things stand at what's it now, 6 o'clock on a Friday night, we've got Nairn County coming to Princess Royal Park tomorrow, so we'll just obviously if anything changes with that, we'll let you know on social media and on the website. Last time out was a 2-0 win for the Vale against Nairn, so they'll be coming looking for a bit of revenge, but we'll see how we go with that. That's followed up with our first trip to Glebe Park to take on Brechin City on the 18th, and then we're back at home for the final game of 2021 as we welcome Buckie Thistle on the 27th, of which our hospitality offering is sold out for that as well. So thank you very much to all of those who have taken up the opportunity to join us in the lounge for what will be a good day out and hopefully a good result. That was a 5-0 defeat away earlier in the season. So again, it's now ourselves that'll be looking to get a bit of revenge on the guys from Buckie. So two other updates you'll have seen in the last couple of days. Matthew Wallace has left the club now and has been transferred to Banks of D. So Matthew's goes with best wishes of everybody at Devon Vale. We obviously discussed that situation a couple of weeks ago now on Valecast. So his move's now been confirmed. And then one other outgoing this week is actually Michael Morrison, the assistant manager. Michael's had an increase in responsibility outside of the club and outside of football, and just felt that the time was right maybe to step back. So wasn't with the club for long, but had a hell of an impact across the playing squad and across the club in general. So again, goes with our very best wishes and is always welcome back at Princess Royal Park. So I think that'll do us for this week. Colin, thanks again for joining me on Valecast tonight, and we'll see you all next week.
No problem. Thank you.
Cheers. Bye now.